Hello everyone. It's a difficult topic actually, for me, um, because if you see the colors of the tricolors that we're talking about, the Ireland and India, the same, right? And in fact, if we go back into the history of colonization of Ireland and India, it's very, very similar. We were, in Ireland, we ruled for 700 odd years. In India, we were ruled by British for around 400 years. The East India Company came in 1600s, and we got freedom in 1945. Ireland got in 32. India took a lot of constitution from Ireland, and in fact, one of them was this tricolor as well. It's just this like vertical and horizontal. That's the only difference. There's one Ashok Chakra in that. It's a little circle. That's it. That's the only difference. A lot of people, like when I came to Ireland 35 years now. In fact, we were only a handful of people. I think 130, 140 people. I was told at the time, and that's all. Like it was told a lot of when I came first time was put up in Shankill in Dublin. And the neighbors saw me and say, "Are you a doctor?" I said, "No, no, I'm not a doctor." So they thought, "No, every Indian that we know is a doctor." Yeah. Or a nurse, right? I said, "No, no, I'm neither a nurse, right?" But I used to work for a company called Shell at the time, right? So we Shell binded us and moved to UK in 2006, and then I moved out to the company. But that was kind of a perception about the Indians, that they're kind of educated, or they must be a doctor or engineer, something like that. Over a period of time, like as the economy grew, a lot of people were needed, and a lot of students started coming along, and then they got um, their feet in Ireland. They found the jobs and started working in IT. So IT became very, very big part of the kind of a whole fabric of Ireland. And up till 2007, until this whole Lehman Brothers economic crash that happened, we were around 16, 18, 17,000 people, right? It was a kind of Indian community in Ireland. Then people started, some people left, nurses went back to Canada, and and people, the numbers came down, and slowly, over the last couple of years after my, 2015, 16, that again, there was an influx of more IT, work visas that opened up here. And then the these Irish companies started looking for skilled workers, and then a lot of people came through skilled work visas, and the number grew and grew. If you see today how the fabric is, you name any kind of a government department, the whole IT backbone, the coding part was all by and large looked up by the Indian companies, either contracting or indirectly kind of employed. TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, is one of the big ones, which Kotak Mahindra, SCL. These are big companies that look after the backside of the whole revenue, HSE, airports, any bank that you can name it here, they all kind of, look by these people. And then you see the fabric in hospital, nursing and doctors and all that. Well and good, I mean, uh, that's how kind of economy grew, and people came and they became, and so not only Indian, like other immigrants came as well, and they became part of the fabric, and that happened. It was not felt to that extent until that community is now kind of 80,000 plus, and there's kind of more events happening. There's more multiculturalism. That is a kind of new connotation that it's kind of more black, brown, and white. It's no more white. Um, all good. This is the all good side of it. But then on the darker side, some things happened in the past, and it's pity that um, a trigger happened a couple of weeks back, when a man who came to work in Amazon, and he was badly beaten by some small gangs of um, people in Tala area, and that's how this trigger kind of happened, and few other incidents happened around the country, and this kind of became kind of Indian versus the rest. Uh, very sad to see something, and kind of a lot of this so-called social media played a good role and a bad role as well, kind of put in a negative context by whatever the agenda behind that is. We don't know. The whole idea of me coming here and talking about is that um, we have to understand from humanity perspective that we all have same blood cells and we all have same blood color. It's just um, my origin might be, and who am I is a big question for people who kind of immigrated to this country, and same that apply to anybody who moved from this country to other country. um, I'm born in India, raised in Ireland, having Irish passport, and now living happily and contributing. I employ 45 people, Irish people in Ireland, and contribute on corporation tax level through my profits and also through PAY to the revenue government every month. I'm employing 45 people, so I'm kind of a giver. I no, I'm not a taker. I'm a giver. I'm contributing in a way that creating employment, creating opportunities, and contributing to the revenue. That revenue feeds the making the roads and the rest. And so does that, everybody else. So if we change that perspective that could be here, but are they taking their jobs? And some people think that they're here to take the jobs. It's not like that. What happens to AI? Will AI take the job? And what happens? Who is AI? What nationality that AI is? There's no nationality for that. Um, the challenge lies in kind of taking it, with a pinch of salt and having that kind of perseverance and resilience to kind of move forward without having that negative connotation. And like my kids, um, when they see something like that, and then they think that, but I know I'm a brown, but I'm Irish, I'm born here. Like, will I, if be treated exactly because I have brown skin? And I don't have answer to that. I said, no, it's not like that. It's just something very temporary. It will move on. It just was a trigger that's happened, and they kind of get worried, and that kind of worriness moves on from one family to the other. A lot of people start worrying what's happening. Shall we leave this country? Shall we move out of here? Where shall we go? This and that. We as a community leader have a great role to play, and we just kind of communicate in a way that, as he said, and there's a hope. And this is the just time. It will pass, and people will realize that, uh, because Ireland is not like that. Ireland is the most welcoming country in the world, and that's what people have. It's only very handful people, and that applies to any country. It's not that you go to India. If I say there's no racism in India, I will say India is the one of the most racist countries in the world. There's racism in every country. There's some kind of racism anyway. But how do you take it? If that particular word, if we take that out, people have their opinion, perceptions. Media plays this role. There's this wing and that wing, and there's a lot of other factors. But what you take out of it, how you carry on your life, how you mix with them. It's like Ireland has a lot of milk and India has a lot of sugar. I always say to people in my own community when I do prayers in temple, guys, you need to mix this sugar with the milk so it becomes inseparable. You cannot once you mix the sugar with the milk, you cannot separate the sugar out of it. You cannot do that. It's just mixed there. That's the beauty of it. So let's do that. Let's think that way. Let's challenge. Your fear with hope. Challenge your fear with a lot of empathy, a lot of art of giving. That you, what can you pass to the community and society as a whole? Contribute your best way, and also try to stay away from this. WhatsApp university, which is very dangerous university in the world. Stay away from that, because this is no good to anybody. That is what my message to the community is, and uh, I it's nothing to be feared about. It's nothing to be worried about. But yes, it triggered. It happened, and it's very sad that it happened to few people. And I was one of the victims few months back. I mean, in my own shop. I don't kind of bring it to the public, but it just happened. But I think government needs to uh, come up with stringent laws. They have, because there's two fears that were existing in the whole world. One is the God, which we take it granted now. There's no God. A lot of people think there's we'll see in the next life. Nothing is happening to me. God, what will God do to me this life? And what karma will come back and bite you. It's not today, tomorrow. It will happen, right? So we have to understand the karmic part of that. But let's leave that on one side. What about the law? Governments have to come up with these stringent laws. And that's where we were calling on from the governments. We met the ministers, and Simon Harris as well is asking, requesting him to actually come up with the stringent laws so that somebody who is behind it is actually put behind the bars or whatever. At least the message is passed on to the community that if you do that, this is the consequence. And that's where this challenge lies. If there is stringent laws, people will have some fear out in the, and that will save, these kind of things that will not happen in the past, because that is very, very important. So we all have to be good and, adjusting, have some kind of resilience, empathy. At the same time, we all have to request the governments to kind of be more, uh, powerful in terms of coming up with extended laws that could control this thing in future. Ultimately, this all one world, one society, as far as Moon says right now, is one family under one God. That's what we are looking for. Thank you very much.
I'm always grateful to hear people come and share. So on that